I'm George Malin, contributing editor of Vanilla Plus, and I've come here to Evolving Systems London offices to talk to them about the opportunity with connected devices. The opportunity is huge. It will see endpoint numbers increase from 5 billion today to possibly 50 billion in 10 years or so. However, the challenge is also immense. I'm now going inside to talk to Thad Duper, Chief Executive Officer of the company, and his colleague, CTO Stuart Cochrane. Hopefully, they'll have some of the answers that carriers are looking for. So Thad, we've heard all the hype about connected devices, but what's the real size of the opportunity?
Well, it's a good question. What we're seeing and what analysts are telling us, that in the next 10 years, the market could grow to over 50 billion connected devices. Now, just to put that in perspective, today, GSM Association predicts the market opportunity for wireless carriers is 4.2 billion subscribers. So there's a potential for a 10x growth opportunity within the connected devices space.
Wow, that seems very substantial. So do carriers have to change the way they go about running their businesses to address that market?
The nature of the use of the device is so much different than a wireless subscriber that the mechanisms used for ordering, activating, and even marketing the SIM cards are dramatically different. And one way to think about it is you could take a typical wireless carrier today that has, say, 5 million wireless subscribers. Their market potential in the connected devices space could be 10x that, 50 billion connected devices for your typical 5 billion subscriber carrier. So it follows suit that the processes used to activate, manage, and market those SIMs is dramatically different.
Sure. So are completely new systems needed, or can the current systems cope?
Yeah, not completely new systems are needed, but clearly the device usage characteristics and the sheer volume of the connected devices space requires changes, and our software speaks directly to those changes. So we offer carriers the ability to dramatically improve the efficiency of their supply chain around SIM cards, the activation process, and also the marketing of these SIM cards to address this high growth opportunity within the industry.
So how can Evolving Systems help carriers make that transition?
What we've seen to date is carriers have been struggling with SIM supply chains because of regional numbering requirements, constraints within network capacity, network databases, and our software has been able to release some of these constraints to a carrier so that they can greatly increase the number of SIM cards in the supply chain without incurring the typical costs associated with putting a SIM in the supply chain. And that's going to be extremely important going forward as this connected devices opportunity materializes.
Thanks very much. It's been a pleasure talking to you.
Pleasure. Thank you.
So Stuart, when it comes to provisioning SIM cards for connected applications, how important is it to be able to eradicate cost from the service provision?
I mean, clearly some machine-to-machine or connected device applications have much lower revenue. If you look at the UK, one estimate for smart meter revenue to the operator is about $7 a year compared to $50 or $60 a month for a contract customer. On the other hand, profitability can be very good. They don't have the same costs of marketing, acquisition, support for these kind of devices. But we don't think that profitability is guaranteed. We think operators have to find ways to rethink their approach to these devices and save money.
So to what extent is a radical rethink required?
Well, we look at the market and we see 4 different challenges for operators. We see they have to rethink their approach to commercial model and pricing, about how they produce these devices, how they're distributed and provisioned, and finally the connectivity and support requirements. If we take just one example, distribution and provisioning, then operators have got very used to selling handsets with subsidies from stores on the high street. But if you look at connected devices, they're sold and distributed completely different ways, and we think the provisioning approach needs to change also.
Stuart, can you tell me a little about how Evolving Systems solutions will help operators make that change?
So we've created a brand new way to activate any kind of connected device. We call it dynamic provisioning. You can also think of it as just-in-time provisioning. It helps operators minimise the cost of their inventory at the same time as providing a much better user experience. So when we look at the solutions we've deployed since about the end of 2007, We've implemented it for now millions of SIM cards every month, and we've learned you have to find a way to make those solutions work for lots of different kinds of device. Also has to work across mobile data applications as well as normal menus on phones. And finally, you have to find a way to minimise the impact to the operator's existing infrastructure.
Stuart, thank you very much for talking to us today.
Thank you.